بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيبي إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Distinguished guests, brothers, sisters, scholars, young ones, where are you? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I need a bit more noise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There we go. Today is a day or a night, inshallah, where we're all going to enjoy ourselves within the folds of Islam. And we are going to have a great night. We have a fantastic lineup of speakers, Quran reciters, and inshallah, it's going to be a fantastic evening. First and foremost, I'd love to thank Ummah and the 18th annual convention that they do. I understand that there's a hell of a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to bring you a profound conference as it is. Have you enjoyed the day so far? Kind of. Have you enjoyed the day so far? Cool, because it's going to get a lot better. Because first and foremost, I am going to welcome, as we always do when it comes to these kind of events, we love to bless these events with the recitation of the Holy Quran. I'm going to welcome a friend of mine, a person you're very, very familiar with, who has been reciting from the age of, I believe, 13, 14. I'll ask him some questions later so that he can verify. But he's been reciting the Quran from a very young age. The reason why I mention that is because he has dedicated his life to the recitation of the most beautiful words, and that is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran. Not many people aspire to be Quran reciters, but this man is inspirational when it comes to reciting and knowing the different melodies, the different maqamat. He's been trained and mentored by the best of the best when it comes to Iranian and Egyptian Qurra, who are essentially Quran reciters. He has performed in international conferences, international events. He's also been to different competitions based in Iran, based in Kuala Lumpur. I don't know if I pronounced that right, Kuala Lumpur or Lumpur, I'm not sure, but you get it. He's been in and around the world reciting Quran, attending Quran competitions. Aside from that, by the way, you see these designs here? You see them? Yeah. This man designed everything that you see from the Ummah Association, or Ummah, because I've already, anyway, from Ummah, this man designed all of the graphic design, all of the animations. I don't even know if I'm using the right terminology, but you get it. He's the one that designed this, basically, okay? Whatever this is called, if it's called graphic design, I don't know. If it's called animation, I don't know. But he's the creative brains behind Ummah. And I really want to give a special shout out to this man, because I believe that the work that he does, not only when it comes to design, because also, by the way, I forgot to mention that he did the first proposal, listen to this, the first proposal for rebuilding Baqi'. Now, when we think of Baqi', we imagine what it might look like. Yeah? We dream of what it might look like. But this man, through his dedication, through his creative artwork, he managed to actually have a first real proposal of what it will actually look like if it is rebuilt. Yeah? You'll know a lot more once you speak to him, but please, please, please do help me in welcoming the first performer of the night. I'd love to welcome Zuhair Husseini with Allah salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولله ملك السماوات السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء قدير. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. ولله ملك السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل ولله ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء قدير. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات الذين يذكرون الله الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار، على رسول الله وآله الأطهار. صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. How are you, Zuhair?
I can be better, but alhamdulillah.
Khair, why?
I had a mistake.
You had a mistake.
I did.
None of us in the audience knew.
Well,
I can assure you none of us in the audience knew. But yeah, tell us about the mistake. Why? What happened?
I recited from memory, and usually I don't do so well.
Okay.
And but I fixed it. But
All right.
Yeah.
You fixed it?
I did.
We didn't have a clue.
But it messes with your brain.
Right.
Your brain's working high power.
So how important is it for reciters to obviously get it right? Because obviously they're the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But how important is it to you? Because most of us here, look, we are, of course, we know of the Quran, but sometimes we don't know the verses off by heart. We don't know the maqamat. So how important is it to you personally to get it right? You seem a bit stressed about it.
Yes. Even after all these years, it still stresses me out.
Okay.
Because it's the word of God.
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist. And when I misquote or something, it drives me insane. And no one knows because it's all happening in my head.
Yeah.
And trying to balance that and the next verse that's coming up is a whole battle.
So if you start on, say, the wrong maqam or...
So yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, so two things. I recited the first few verses. I build it up. And the next one, I'm trying to go to bayat high.
Right.
And then that's where the mistake happened.
Okay.
So now both I'm off melody and pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm also...
On the words.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But you know...
So all of this is going through your head.
Oh, yeah.
But by the way, to us, and a round of applause please for Zuhair, because to us, it didn't look like it. It looked like a first-class performance. Just on that note, any tips for those who are up-and-coming reciters when it comes to kind of controlling the melody or controlling the maqamat? Any tips on where to go with this?
The best thing I say is practicing and making the intention, no matter what happens, having the good intention and why you're doing this. No matter what, even if you make mistakes, it's okay.
Fantastic.
There's been times where I've done similar, maybe 10 years ago, and it put me off for a week, but you know, it happens, you move on from it.
So for the next week, you're going to be sad and depressed.
Possible.
Guys, put it up for Zuhair Husseini. Ahsantum Zuhair. Thank you, Zuhair. Right, before I welcome my next guest, there is a couple of cues that I want a response from. First and foremost, are we all right to say Ya Ali? There we go. Okay, so we're good to say Ya Ali. Now, there's a guy called Ahmed Siddiq, Mulla Ahmed Siddiq. I'm not sure if you know him or no. You might have heard of his name, Mulla Ahmed Siddiq. I was with him a couple of weeks ago, and we performed together on a stage, and there's something that he done which I really, really liked. And so I'm going to start doing it as well. And then he just randomly says to the audience, Gul Ya Ali. Gul essentially means say, right? And then it feels like to me that whenever he's stuck on what to say, he'll just revert to Imam Ali alayhi salam. And so then he'll say to the audience, okay, say Ya Ali. All right, well, it's a cue. You don't have to say it really loud or anything like that. It's totally up to you. But anytime I feel like I'm waffling on, Gul Ya Ali. There we go. So the next reciter, before I welcome him on, I'm going to do a couple of lines of poetry in honor of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And we say, Amiri Hussein أميري حسين ولي سرور فؤاد البشير النذير علي وفاطمة والدا فهل تعلمون له من نظير. 7 letters of which daily I have dreamt, and to each letter a lifetime I have lent. His name touches my ears before my heart's consent, yet I still wonder what Hussein truly meant. حسين أذكر انتخاب أم كنت غلام عشق تاب أم کند گدای در خود حساب أم کند بهشتم برد یا عذاب أم کند वो नूर जिसको शाह मसरक़न कहते हैं उसी को नूर खुदा नूर ऐन कहते हैं बिखर गया तो वही नूर कायनात बना सिमट गया तो उसी को उसे كتين أميري حسين ونعم الأمير. قول يا علي. All right, my next performer onto the stage is a man that I know very well, probably the last 20 years of my unfortunate life, but I love him to bits. He and I started reciting together. It was actually quite an interesting story. I was looking for a poet in English, and he was looking for a reciter. So we were a match made in heaven. And he wrote and I recited for years and years and years and years until I got bored of him, and then I went to someone else. I'm joking. I love him to bits. I still to this day refer to his books quite heavily, although the books are about 10 years old, and I'm waiting for his next book to come so that I can carry on reciting for free. But I'm awarded that privilege. Anyway, so this man, he's been a poet for the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam for loads and loads of years. He's been writing and reciting poetry in international events, national events. When I say international, back in the day, he used to live in London, UK. So I say international, but now he's here. So I don't know if this means he's national, but I guess he's also international because he goes back to the UK. It's getting a bit confusing, but you get it, he's worldwide. In any case, a lot of youngsters and old reciters and poets look up to him, and they look up to his poetry, and they are read worldwide, literally worldwide. It's a privilege to share a stage with him. It's a privilege and an honor to actually have him onto the stage and share his poetry. Aside from poetry, he is actually gold standard. I was having a conversation the other day, and they said, this man, he's the best when it comes to filmmaking and editing and mastering and the whole filmmaking stuff. Again, I don't know the technicalities behind it, but he's a filmmaker, and he's produced numerous documentaries about Islam, about social affairs. It gives me great pleasure to welcome onto the stage my brother and friend, Nouri Sardar.
صلى على محمد وآل محمد. I'm no date seller, but I aspire to be. In the love of Ali, I yearn to be Maytham. Maytham at-Tammar, one of the greatest companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, was a date seller. And there's a beautiful story where Maytham was once a slave in the streets, and no one knew his name but his mother. And one day Imam Ali found him, and he comes to him, and he says, Salaamu alaykum Maytham. Maytham looks at him and he says, how do you know my name? because no one knows my name except my mother. Ali says the Prophet would tell me stories about how me and you one day would become best friends and how you would become one of my greatest companions. Thereafter, Maytham was left entranced by the love of Ali. One day he tells him, Maytham, one day there'll be a time where they'll crucify you for my love. Will you ever go against my love? He said, never. And he showed him the tree which he'll be crucified to. And every single day he would go and water that tree and tell that tree, I was created for you and you were created for me. Until the day came when they tied Maytham to the tree, they crucified him for his love of Ali, and still he would be crucified on that tree and still recite the virtues of Ali as people would surround the tree. Until the day they came and they cut out his tongue. I'm no date seller, but I aspire to be. In the love of Ali, I yearn to be Maytham. I'm tied not to a tree, but tied to its root. And the root of Islam is Abu Talib's son. Mountains may be moved, but my faith cannot be. When one falls for Ali, that choice has long gone. I hear them whisper that my love for him is too much. Don't they know that in his love I seek to drown? That I sip from the rivers of the Walaya of Ali until the day its blessings drown both my lungs. Maytham watered the tree upon which he would die. I carried the crucifix which I'll be pinned on. Maytham knew no words except praise of Ali. And if I am blessed, then Maytham I'll become. And I shall recite the virtues of Ali until the day they cut out my tongue. And I shall recite the virtues of Ali until the day they cut out my tongue. Salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Inshallah, I'm going to recite some verses today in honor of the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali alayhi salam. Won't take too much time, but as we know, the beautiful hadith of Rasulullah where he says, Dhikra Aliyun Ibadah. I know we have a beautiful night, inshallah, of comedy entertainment, but inshallah we can take just a few minutes of our time to bask in the remembrance of this wonderful saint that we all love, and our hearts continuously circle his shrine. As we know, those of us here, the title of this conference is about Islam in America. Many of us came to this country, especially the elders, to escape persecution in Pakistan, Iraq, and other places for the love of Ali. And we know how much blood has been spilt for this great love. And despite everything that they do, no matter what they do, over 1,000 years, they cannot remove the love of Ali from our hearts. And still today we are here remembering Ali ibn Abi Talib. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I say that against the whole world, we still cry, Ya Ali. How much they tried to make bitter his sweet name, and yet sweetness it remains. How much they tried to make bitter his sweet name, and yet sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, it's not that your name was once bitter and now is sweet. Prophets' tongues tasted your name before those same tongues learned to speak. Prophets' tongues tasted your name before those same tongues learned to speak. Your name sits on prophets' tongues, while their names sit on parrots' beaks. Let them recite or not recite. If they take our tongues, then we shall write of Muhammad's self and light and sight and Muhammad's one true successor. When they bring you down, you still rise, Ya Ali. On Allah's throne, they'll find your name engraved, and sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, let them place you forth, let them place billions before you. It matters not as you are truth. It matters not as they are lies, while truth is with you and you are with truth. Ya Ali, let them place you forth, let them place billions before you. It matters not as they are lies, while truth is with you and you are with truth. If all the companions deserted you, then that just means the believers were few. Like at Uhud and Hunain, they would flee while you would remain. You took steps toward obliteration. They took steps toward obliteration while you took steps toward the hereafter. Always in your sight was your Lord, Ya Ali. Tongues that taste your sweet name never complain, because sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, 300 verses descended on Muhammad in your praise. Allah did not write your name in them because He knew that your name they would erase. The book of Allah defended you, and you defended its every page. Back against back, you and the book, you compiled it, and there they shook, knowing that your right they took in a lust for fleeting power. Inside the Quran is your praise, Ya Ali. However much your name brings them shame, sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, can anyone bring you down when judgment day rests at your heel? Ya Ali, can anyone bring you down when judgment day rests on your heel? Because only hypocrites hate you. Only hypocrites hate you, and only hypocrites burn in hell. Sunni and Shia, they both praise your sweet name. Sunni and Shia, they both praise your sweet name. Holds hatred for you, only evil, the kind of evil that spreads fear and terror for those that claim God but don't claim Haidar, leaving all Muslims to suffer with no safety and no respite either. Those that hold their grasp on you, Ya Ali, they shall never have an abode of pain because sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, know that they can reverse against itself the turn of the earth, and our women will still recite your name as two more Alis they give birth. Ya Ali, know they can reverse against itself the turn of the earth, and our women will still recite your name as two more Alis they give birth. Hearts that hold the dislike of your name, they were born to wombs that have no worth. Such is the womb that loves Ali. Comfort it gives to its baby, and those who know not of purity cannot know the pureness of Haidar, because only the pure know of you, Ya Ali. The milk that in your praise would proclaim sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, while they all walk the earth aimlessly, we stand firm in Najaf. Ya Ali, while they all walk the earth aimlessly, we stand firm in Najaf. In a world full of disbelief, your sweet land knows nothing but belief. It is our eternal abode in a world where even breath is theft. Your dome is a crown upon our heads, and as death comes, our bodies shall be led to the place where Noah's ark once made its bed, and there our bodies shall lie forever. As your intercession becomes our savior, Ya Ali. When all departed, we saw that your rescue came, and sweetness it remains. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Give me a second, loud salawat, please. And one more in honor of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. There's a beautiful hadith that I'm sure we can find all relevant in these financial difficult times. Someone comes to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and he's complaining to him. He says, "Yeah, Imam Sadiq, I'm poor. I need your help. I have no money. I'm what's considered a poor person. I'm suffering from poverty." The Imam looks at him and says, "Do you have the wilayah of Ali in your heart?" The man looks at him and says, "Yes." He says, "What would you sell it for? If you were hungry, you had no money, you needed finances, what would you sell it for? Would you sell it for a dinar?" He said, "No, never. 10 dinars, never. 100, never. 1,000,000, never." He said, "Then do not call yourself poor, because you have something that you would never sell and never give away." Isn't it true? We have something that no matter what happens to us, it remains deeply embedded into our hearts, bringing us back toward Islam and toward Allah through the door of Ali. And it's here that based on this hadith I say, how can I ever taste poverty when I have the love of Amir al-Mu'mineen and a belief that I'll never give away? How can any of us ever taste poverty when we have a love of Amir al-Mu'mineen and a belief that we'll never give away? Tell the one who with wilayah still complains of an empty pocket where only pennies remain. What dollar in sweat or in blood that you attain can compare to salvation on Judgment Day? What dollar in sweat or in blood that you attain can compare to salvation on Judgment Day? What you hold in your heart is more valuable than the most sought after gold, diamonds, and pearls. You'd give up your house, you'd give up your children, you'd give up your world, but your wilayah you'll never give away. Treat the wilayah of Ali as your best friend. Treat the wilayah of Ali as your best friend, something wealth and health and friends can never comprehend. Money, friends and family, they sway like the wind. Money, friends and family, they sway like the wind, but wilayah by your side forever stays. Be it that you find breadcrumbs to feast upon, or you find that from thirst barren is your tongue, sip from Ali's wilayah, and there you'll find within nourishment to feed you while all food decays. Call Ali in poverty, and he will bring not just fleeting wealth, but in fact everything. You'll not trade wilayah for anything. You'll not trade your wilayah for anything, and you'll stand firm on the day when all feet sway, because Ali's wilayah is priceless. Ali's wilayah is priceless. Ali's love worth all and not less. Ali, love is like a fortress that no devil can break through. Ali's wilayah is priceless. Ali's love is worth all and not less. Ali's love is like a fortress that no devil can break through. Ali, no one can come near him. Ali, the first and the last hymn. Ali, they can tear you limb from limb, and his love will still never leave you. Ali, the striker of marhab. Ali's love sits between the ribs. Ali's love is like a spider's web that only the purest get caught in. Ali's love is a divider. Ali, the only successor. Ali's hand is the decider between hellfire and heaven. Ali will never leave your side. Ali, in him you can confide. Ali is alive and he resides within the hearts of his lovers. Ali and you will never part. Ali's heart is one with your heart. Ali's name is never apart from his lover forever. Ali's love quenches the thirsty. Ali's wilayah is mighty. Ali's sword tears up poverty, just like it did the men at Safin. Ali's turban holds beneath it Ali, the killer of bin Wid. Ali, whenever he was hid, his truth by the world was seen. Ali's love cannot be traded. Ali's name remains unfaded. Ali, the one undefeated name, while all other names become dust. Ali, the king who needs no crown. Ali in the ghettos can be found. Ali's name to the heavens is bound, and in Allah we put our trust. Ali's name to the heavens is bound, and in Allah we put our trust. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Brother, I was waiting for you the whole time. Where were you? You're so quiet, mashallah. Give me another Haydari, come on. I want those naras with this last poem. It won't take too much of your time, just a minute long, inshallah. Again, about the fada of Ali bin Talib alayhi salam. Why I say they asked me about the one who was born in the Kaaba, the one who was named Haydar, the first man to believe in Rasulullah, who slept in the bed of the messenger, the Harun to Ahmed's Musa, the wielder of Dhul Fiqar, the mountain of Uhud, and the conqueror of Badr, the conqueror of Khaybar, who made Fatima's heart flutter, who stood on Ahmed's shoulders to break the idols of idolaters, the Mawla after the Mawla, the one struck in his prayer, who'd offer his killer water, who declared he was successful and splits heaven and hellfire. I asked, is there anything left to ask? Is there anything left to ask about the one who with just one hand, and not even with his tongue, changed the very orbit of our ancient sun, as if he could have destroyed it by covering it with his thumb? The one who offered his life in the Prophet's stead, and did so by laying in Revelation's bed. The bronze skin of his throat, it yearned to turn blood red, to sacrifice all that was Ali for the sake of Ahmed. The only one in history who, deep within his prayer, heard both Allah's words and the voice of the beggar in despair. His finger, in its own consciousness, extends and says, here. The zakat was the ring, but the wealth was the gaze of Ahmed's heir. The one who would sleep restless when he led a whole kingdom, saying, how can I sleep comfortably when my lands have poor within them, whose heart that was a firm mountain melted for the orphan, whose 5 senses belong to the oppressed, be it now or be it then. The one who in one hand held the battlefield of Badr. Against the thousands of Hunain, he would not dare shudder, for there are thousands of warriors, but only one Haydar. There are thousands of warriors, but only one Haydar. If you doubt this, ask the stories told to Marhab by his mother. If you doubt this, ask the broken gate that once belonged to Khaybar. Ask the mystics, ask the beggars, ask his cradle that was the Kaaba. Ask the Sufis, ask the Sunnis, ask the Shia who clung to his Khalifa. Ask the walking scent of heaven, ask Fatima to Zahra. Ask the ones who call him one, ask the ones who call him four. Ask the souls that are long gone who'd recite Dam Dam Ali Ali Kur. Ask the saints who are humble at the foot of Ali's door. Ask the split of heaven and hell. Ask Adam what was before. Ask the millions that yearn his dome of the secret of this warrior. Ask the battle within his heart, the nafs that was never superior. Ask the two prongs of Dhul Fiqar, of the oneness of its master. Ask his lover of heaven, because they know the sweetness of his heart, of their hereafter. Ask with the open heart, and let your heart be filled with him. Then you may ask this heart of this wealth of love deep within. Ask Ali of Ali, because Ali is still living. Ask Ali of Ali, because Ali is still living. Ask Muhammad of Ali, and he'll tell you everything. Ask Muhammad of Ali, and he'll tell you everything. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Muhammad, ahsantum, ahsantum. Round of applause, please, for Nouri Sardar. Right, Nouri, I wanted to ask very, very quickly, in terms of leaving poetry to one side. I know that's your forte, it's what you do, is fantastic, but I want to kind of focus on the filmmaking side. We had some very interesting conversations. What did it feel like for those who want to take a leap into freelance filmmaking?
Such a big gap from what we was just doing. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
You know, Ali, a lot of it is just, it's multiple things. Someone said something very nice the other day, a speaker who I listen to a lot. And he was listing the things that kind of, lead to a happy life. A happy life. And the first thing he said was be independent. And he gave a caveat. It's one of the hardest things you can do. It's very difficult, and it's not easy at all. But being independent, choosing the work that you want to work on, setting your own times, being in charge of your own life, is something very, not just attractive, but it's something that helps build you. And also you're cutting out the intermediary between you and Allah in terms of who's paying your salary. Right? Because you're not relying on a check coming in week after week. No more are you pushing someone else's vision that they're working toward. Instead, rather, you're relying as Allah as your sole provider. So that I think is one of the biggest. It's a big challenge. It's a big step. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone.
Fantastic.
But it's definitely something to.
Brilliant. That's what I wanted, really.
Oh,
but Nouri, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, guys. Nouri Sardar, round of applause, please. Thank you. If I can spend a few minutes in honor of Imam Ali, and we say, I've been wanting to see you forever, Ali, to make you proud of me. I'll endeavor, Ali. I've been wanting to see you forever, Ali, to make you proud of me. I'll endeavor, Ali, to be by your side. I'll give whatever, Ali. I know that soon we will be together, Ali. Every step that I take, every time that I think, every move that I make, every time that I blink, دشت में अब्र का पहला कतरा Ali, मेरा मुर्शद भी आका भी मौला Ali. Ali, Mawla Ali, I see you near me. I want to feel free. يا علي 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 هالرسوم سدايا هيدري يا علي 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 جانا فدايا هيدري. There we go. Ali, Ali, I'll see you soon and then I will feel free. Ali, I reach your land. Can you tell me? Can you see me? Ali, I'll see you soon and then I will feel free. Ali, I reach your land. Tell me, can you see me? Ali, I don't know without you who I would be. Ali, only you can make my heart feel complete. Ali, for you I'd give my all to have you by my side. My heart, body and soul, from your love I can't hide. Me musibat mi ab kyun parishan rahu, gham ke marun kahe tu sahara. Ali, Ali, Mawla Ali, I see you near me, son of Hashmi. Ya Ali, 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 Ramazeh baqaya Hashmi. Ya Ali, 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 صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.